Hello everyone. As we have already talked about what are geometric isomers, even we have seen their nomenclature according to cis and trans, ENZ and syn and anti. Today we are going to see some practical methods which can help us in determining configuration of these geometric isomers. There are several methods like method of cyclization, converting them into compounds of known configuration, method of optical activity, formation of solid solutions based upon physical properties, converting them into less symmetrical products, stereoselective addition and elimination reactions. So usually in the initial phase, simple methods which are possible in the lab, two or three methods are employed, and for final confirmation we have certain advanced and sophisticated analytical techniques which can give us confirmation as to which isomer is present. Usually a combination of two or three methods is employed to arrive at a valid conclusion about configuration. First method is the easiest one, and as you can see, we have structures of fumaric acid and malic acid over here. These are geometric isomers of each other. Fumaric acid is a trans form while malic acid is a cis form. So when you have such structures wherein you can easily see that there is a possibility of elimination of water molecule and formation of anhydride, which can lead to cyclization. So if out of two isomers, one isomer can readily form a cyclic ring, then this method will be applicable. So in case of say dicarboxylic acids like malic acid, when two carboxylic groups are located on one side, they are physically in the vicinity of each other, reaction is much more easier. So malic acid, that is cis isomer, is capable of forming a ring, and that will be very easy, which can be achieved with the help of gentle heating. But in case of trans isomer, we have to vigorously heat it for longer period of time so that it can first get converted into malic acid and then it can form cyclization. Similarly, we have another example of pair like citraconic acid and mesaconic acid, in which cis form is citraconic acid. So closely placed groups can easily interact and give rise to certain kind of reaction. This was the principle explained by Vislanus, and based upon his remarks, this method is easily employed in case of dicarboxylic acids. So if you have two isomers and you are trying to identify them, if by gentle heating you are getting the product, it is cis isomer, and if you have to continue it and vigorous heating is to be applied, then it is a trans product. Second is method of conversion into compounds of known configuration. Now this method will work when you know a pair of isomers like crotonic acid. As you can see, it is a trans form wherein there are groups like CH3 and COOH. On the opposite side, we have isocrotonic acid, which is a cis form. Now if you are preparing derivatives of this like trichloro crotonic acid, then converting them into crotonic and isocrotonic acid can easily reveal configuration. The isomer which upon heating with sodium amalgam and water or zinc and acetic acid, upon reaction it gives us crotonic acid, it has to be trans isomer, and the other isomer which gives us isocrotonic acid, that must be cis isomer. Even trans isomer upon water hydrolysis is also capable of forming fumaric acid. So this fumaric acid, crotonic acid, isocrotonic acid can be easily identified by their differences in the physical properties, which we are going to see later. So this method will be applicable when you are preparing derivatives of compounds having known configuration. So you can convert them into compounds whose configuration you are knowing, and based upon that you can ascertain confirmation of the derivatives you have prepared. In case of method of optical activity, we take advantage of the presence or absence of any elements of symmetry. I would request you to go through elements of symmetry first, wherein we have discussed in one of the session that compounds can have plane of symmetry, then center of symmetry, axis of symmetry. We have simple axis as well as alternating axis. So if any compound possesses such elements of symmetry, then they are symmetric compounds and they are not optically active. But if there is absence of these symmetry elements, then compound will be optically active. Example we have here is hexahydrophthalic acid. As you can see, this is one isomer wherein two COH groups are on one side, and this is another isomer wherein they are on opposite sides. So we can say this is the cis isomer, this is the trans isomer. So in case of cis isomer, see uh, if I draw a plane which is dividing both the sides into equal halves. This is the mirror image of this side. If I draw it here, these two mirror images won't match. So cis isomer here possesses plane of symmetry. So it is optically inactive. Wherein if I draw plane, say horizontal, vertical, diagonal, in any way it is not possible. Even if I try to draw a center over here and try to match the distances, it is not possessing center of symmetry. Even if you try to rotate it and see the reflection, it is not possessing alternating axis of symmetry. So this compound, because of lack of symmetry elements, it is optically active. When you place it in polarimeter, it will show optical rotation, and this will be optically inactive. Method of formation of solid solutions is applicable to such compounds whose structures you are knowing and their saturated derivatives are available. Like again we have example of malic acid wherein two COH groups are on one side. It is a cis isomer. Fumaric acid is a trans isomer wherein one COH group is on one side, another COH group is on opposite side. Now the saturated derivative of this is succinic acid, wherein the middle double bond, it is hydrogenated. So it has been observed that succinic acid is having structure similar to fumaric acid. So if the shape of any isomer is same to that of corresponding saturated compound, so as compared to malic acid, shape of fumaric acid is similar to succinic acid. So only one isomer is having shape similar to its saturated derivative. So if they are having shapes similar, they can form solid solutions. It will appear like a homogeneous mixture. So if you have these two as unknown compounds, what you can do is in both of these compounds you can add succinic acid, stir it and observe whether a solid solution is formed. If it forms, that is trans isomer. If it doesn't form, that is cis isomer. Methods based on physical properties are perhaps most widely used methods for determining configuration. It is because there are significant differences in the physical properties of these geometrical isomers, and they are even more evident when we have cis-trans isomerism because they contain identical groups. So it is more predictable of what differences they will have. So cis, we have seen it means on the same side, trans means on the opposite side. So because these groups are on same side based upon the electronegativity of the groups, if they are same, then they are concentrating on one side. So molecule becomes more polar rather than trans, which is like a balanced one, and it will be less polar. Now there is, with respect to boiling point, cis isomers usually have higher boiling point. because again molecules are on same side, so they are having more interaction and attractive force, so you will need more temperature to break their arrangement. So boiling point is higher, whereas in case of trans isomer it will be lower because groups are away or they are far from each other. This is, we have seen in case of malic acid just now. It is on one side, so it is less symmetric. Trans is more symmetric, and because of this, you can see melting point of cis isomer is lower because it is not symmetric. So it will be very difficult to pack in a confined space. So crystalline arrangement, you can see it is very loose. But in case of trans, there will be tight packing because of their symmetrical nature, and that is why they have higher melting point. Solubility, because they are polar, so it will be higher. In case of trans isomers it is lower, while stability, again because they are on the same side, they are unstable, and trans isomers they are stable because groups are far away. Now this is comparison between cis and trans, and it is valid in most of the cases when groups are identical, and this is comparative, that this is higher with respect to trans, not in general on the higher side. So this is all comparison. Interconversions between these isomers is only possible when we apply strong heat. We have seen we have to convert fumaric acid into malic acid, then it can undergo cyclization. Because of restricted rotation, this isomerism is seen, and it is not possible to easily interconvert them. So we will have to apply harsh conditions like vigorous heating, longer time, bonds will be broken, and when they again crystallize out. During the reformation, they can undergo conversion into another isomer. Apart from this, cis isomer also has higher density, refractive index, dissociation constant, heat of combustion, and heat of hydrogenation. So based upon this comparison also, you can distinguish between the two isomers. Dipole moment, if we talk about, it is similar to the polarity. We have seen the explanation. Let's see the cis isomer first. Suppose in case of dichloroethylene, two chlorine groups are on same side, and we know it is electronegative. So it will be pulling the electrons towards itself. So it will have a strong polarity given in the form of a dipole moment 1.89. Whereas in case of trans isomer, the magnitude of this effect is same. Both chlorine are pulling it by the same effort but on opposite side. So they cancel out each other. That is why trans isomer has dipole moment as 0. But this will work when we have identical groups. Imagine you have one group which is pulling the electrons, one group which is donating the electrons, then this fact will not be applicable. So strictly in case of cis and trans isomers, if the groups are identical, then you can say cis isomer has some dipole moment and trans isomer has it 0, because equal and opposite will get cancelled and the net dipole moment is 0. For confirmation, we can take help of X-ray diffraction, electron diffraction, which can reveal a lot of surface related properties, and even they can distinguish between crystalline, amorphous. So structure can be easily confirmed. In case of UV visible spectroscopy, if we talk about their absorption and lambda max, in case of say trans isomer, because the groups are symmetrically arranged and we have a longer distance available for resonance, which is hampered in case of cis isomer. So usually trans isomers, they have higher lambda max. Like here in case of trans stilbene, we have it 294 nanometer. Cis stilbene has it only 278. Like I said, this is comparative picture that trans isomer has higher lambda max than cis. We also have another techniques like infrared spectroscopy and even nuclear magnetic resonance, that is NMR, which can distinguish it. In case of NMR, we have something called as coupling constant. So in case of trans isomers, coupling between the protons, it is again higher, 15.8 Hertz, whereas in case of cis, about 2 protons, coupling constant is 12.3. Next method is method of conversion into less symmetrical products. So here we can react two isomers differently to form a different set of products. Like here, cis isomer, which is allowed to undergo decarboxylation to remove one of the carboxylic group. In this compound, which is a 2,5-dimethyl cyclopentane 1 dicarboxylic acid, cis isomer gives rise to 2 monocarboxylic acids, whereas trans isomer, upon decarboxylation, it forms only one product. There are several such kinds of reactions wherein to the same reaction cis and trans isomer behaves differently. So we take advantage of this fact to convert a complex molecule into a much more simple molecule whose structure can be easily determined. And why do different isomers react differently? The answer lies here. There is something called as stereoselective reaction and something called as stereospecific reaction. A stereoselective reaction means a single starting material, for example A, forms two products. Now these are two isomers. They may or may not be geometric isomers. This is a general concept applicable to all kinds of isomers in the stereochemistry. So A upon reaction will form B and C. B and C are isomers to each other, and any one of the isomer is formed in more amount than the other. In this reaction, for example, B is formed in more amount than C. Whereas a stereospecific reaction means if you treat two different isomers, if you allow them to undergo same kind of reaction, they will form different products. So here B gives D, C gives E. So it depends upon the course of reaction which isomer will react to form which product. Usually all stereospecific reactions are stereoselective also, but stereoselective are not always stereospecific. First we have example of reduction. See, we have cis isomer wherein two methyl groups and two phenyl groups are on same side. We also have trans isomer wherein phenyl and methyl groups are on opposite side. When they are allowed to undergo reduction. Now because reduction is a cis addition process, two hydrogen molecules are added. See, they are shown both by a darker bond. So it is a cis addition. They are both added from the, say, from one plane, or they will both approach behind the plane. So if you carefully see, if I draw a line or plane over here, this upper half is matching with the lower half. Even for this side. So cis isomer actually gives meso products. But if you see trans isomer, again it is a cis addition. So both H are dark here, both H are shown by dotted bonds over here. If you draw a line, no, this is not a meso compound. So it will form pair of enantiomers or diastereomers. So during reduction, you can observe cis gives a meso product. Trans gives pair of isomers. Similarly, in case of hydroxylation, we have example of malic acid and fumaric acid. In the exactly same way like reduction, now we will have addition of hydroxy group. So they will be added from the same side. So when malic acid reacts with any hydroxylating reagent like osmium tetroxide, KMnO4 or hydrogen peroxide, it will form meso product. In this case it is tartaric acid. But when you allow fumaric acid to interact, it is a trans isomer. It will form a mixture of plus and minus isomers. Now these are mirror images. If you place a mirror over here, they will exactly match. So it will form a pair of enantiomers. In case of elimination reactions, usually trans elimination is fast. So in case of cis and trans isomers of bromobutene, you can observe cis isomer contains two methyl groups on same side, trans isomer contains two methyl groups on opposite sides. Do not get confused uh, in case of applying E and Z nomenclature over here. Because if you try to apply, you will give first priority to bromine, second priority to CH3. Here you will give first priority to methyl and second priority to H. You will think that first priority groups are on same side, so it must be cis. But usually because this is the derivative of butene. In case of butene, you are knowing it was containing two hydrogens and two methyl groups. Just we have substituted one hydrogen with bromine. So conventionally it is trans because hydrogen were on opposite side and methyl groups were on opposite side. So that is why though it will appear Z, don't write it cis. It is trans-bromobutene. Name has been derived because of just substitution. So in case of elimination, there is elimination of HBr, hydrogen and Br. If they want to eliminate, it will be very fast if they are on opposite side. So this reaction is fast. Whereas if they are on the same side, then this reaction is slower. So based upon kinetics of the reaction, which isomer is undergoing reaction fast, we can conclude that is trans isomer. Similarly, in case of fumaric acid and malic acid, again you will observe this is a trans isomer, but that will be equivalent to Z and not E, because chlorine will have first priority and COH will have first priority. But because fumaric acid is trans and this is just a chloro derivative, we are naming it as trans. So in this case also trans elimination of HCl will be very fast to form acetylene dicarboxylic acid. Whereas cis isomer wherein both the groups which are leaving they are on the same side, that reaction is slow. Diel-Alder reaction, if you have already studied, Diel-Alder reaction is a cyclization reaction wherein diene means compound containing two double bonds reacts with dienophile. So diene and dienophile combine to give this cyclic product. So if dienophile is present in isomeric form and you want to distinguish which one is the cis isomer, which one is the trans isomer. So upon undergoing Diel-Alder reaction, cis isomer still remains cis. Trans isomer again retains its configuration. This is just we are converting it into a cyclic compound, because in case of cyclic compounds, differences in the physical properties of cis and trans isomers, they are much more pronounced than the acyclic compounds. So in this case, we are not modifying anything. We are just converting cis isomer to a bigger cis isomer. trans isomer to a bigger trans isomer. So in case of this product, we have seen their physical and as well as chemical properties. So such differences will become much more evident. So configuration of corresponding dino file can be determined based upon the differences in the product observed. I would recommend reading these two books particularly for this topic, Stereochemistry and Chemistry of Natural Products by Finar and Reactions and Reagents by O.P. Agarwal. These two are available as Google Books. So whatever methods we have just now discussed, you will find even more examples and explanation in these two books. So here we complete our lecture series on stereochemistry. Next, we are going to start with polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons like naphthalene, anthracene, phenanthrene. So till then, take care, goodbye, and see you in the next session.